teams get together. They've been swinging at one another lately. How deep does this bad blood go?
Well, there's no question, Jim. This is an intense rivalry. To say that there's hatred, that's a strong word. But these clubs genuinely love to beat each other, and it will always be that way. I think the problem we had a month ago will not be seen again. This has been a great rivalry without violence, except for that one occasion and the one in the exhibition game 2 years ago. We won't have any problems tonight, other than it'll be a very fiercely competitive game, a typical Philadelphia-Boston game. Not all that pretty. When the night's over, it may be an ugly game, but a fascinating one and a very pulsating one.
You've been in this business a long time. You've told me that this game has sold out faster than anything you've ever tried to hustle before. Well,
as far as regular season games, Jim, we can never remember a sellout like this one. There's no extra seats, no standing room, no obstructed, no singles, no nothing. We sold this one out quicker and harder than any regular season game I can ever remember.
Well, let's get on with it, and we'll be right back right after this.
November 9th, the last time these teams met, it was in Boston. The Celtics won by a resounding 130-119. Charles Barkley scored 27 points. Everybody here is quite excited in anticipation of a Grover Washington national anthem.
With the U.S. Marine color guard in the background, please rise as Grammy Award winner Grover Washington Jr. plays our national anthem.
Performance, we're in for a heck of a night. Grover Washington Jr. And it's Grover's birthday tonight. So he comes back out now for the birthday cake.
Dear Grover, happy, you.
I don't know, the way Big Shot's holding that thing, Jim, if I were him, I'd stand back a step or two. It could be serious. We have a sellout here tonight. As Pat Williams indicated, this game has been sold out for some time. A lot of interest in this ball game, even though in one respect it's just another NBA game en route to the playoffs, which of course tell the whole story this year. We also have a team of Santa Clauses here tonight. We're getting ready for Christmas a little early, as we have what must be a dozen guys dressed in Santa Claus outfits right behind the 76er bench as of this moment. Dave Zinkoff ready to introduce the players. Let's go to courtside.
Indiana, number 28, Quinn Buckner. Guilford, number 30, M.L. Carr. Minnesota, number 32, Kevin McHale. Virginia, number 34, Rick Carlisle. Mississippi, number 40, Carlos Clark. Brigham Young, number 50, Greg Kite. And these are your starters. Guard, Pepperdine, number 3, Dennis Johnson. Brigham Young, number 44, Danny Ainge. 00, Centenary center, Robert Parish. And up front, University of North Carolina, Charlotte, 31, Cedric Maxwell. Indiana State, number 33, Larry Bird. Coach, Casey Jones. His assistants, Jim Rogers, Chris Ford. Congratulations, Chris. He's a new daddy. Trainer Ray Melchior. And now the Sixers starters. West Texas State, number 10, Mo Cheeks. Southwest Louisiana, number 22, Andrew Toney. Center, Petersburg High School, Virginia, 2, Moses Malone. And up front from Auburn, number 34, Charles Barkley. University of Massachusetts, number 6, Captain Julius Erving.
Cunningham leads the 76ers. Billy, of course, one of those who was fined in the aftermath of that melee in Boston. Jess Kersey and Tommy Nunez will work the game here tonight. If you recall that first game at Boston, there was an injury to Jack Madden, and we wound up finishing that ball game with just one official. Interesting, though, to see Julius Erving and Larry Bird shake hands and smile twice at midcourt prior to the ball game. And, Jim, I believe that we're not going to have any aftermath of that session in Boston.
And another interesting thing, Julius and Larry came out to shoot them up a little bit before the game started, and it was about 6 o'clock, the arena empty, and Bird was spending most of his time just passing the ball to Julius so he could get warmed up. Not a lot of conversation, but just sort of, there weren't any words needed. There's a lot of mutual respect there, and the intent now will be to settle back and play basketball.
I think one thing you have to remember about that ball game is that the Celtics beat the 76ers soundly. We might also mention that Andrew Toney was not available for that game because of his sprained ankle. That should make a big difference. And mentioning, too, that Charles Barkley had a big night for the Sixers in that one, coming off the bench and getting 27 points. And now, of course, he is a starter. Parish and Malone. And we are underway for a night of basketball, and the 76ers have it first. In New York last night, Sixers committed a lot of turnovers in the early moments, and they'll have to guard against that tonight, or they'll never get off the mat against this team. Inside to Julius. He's got Dennis Johnson on him. Feeds it back to Toney. Cheeks is open. Rebounded Erving. Follow shot. Won't go. And Barkley has it batted away from behind. Sixers keep it. Celtics got caught in some defensive switches there that were not to their advantage, but the Sixers could not get the field goal out of it. And Bird steps in front and knocks it out again. The Celtics will do that. They'll play the passing lanes. And they certainly did that well in Boston in game one. Here is Toney. He's now guarded by Dennis Johnson. The jump shot off target, and the rebound out to Danny Ainge, who had a career high last night. 25 points for Danny. The Celtics defeated the New Jersey Nets at Hartford. Cheeks guarding Ainge. Maxwell guarded by Barkley. That's the muscle match. And so's this one. Parish and Malone. Parish gets his own rebound, goes by Moses, and gets the layup. Celtics lead it.
He's just getting better and better. He's now ranking among the top field goal percentage people in the NBA, and you got a good example of how much he's improved offensively right there.
Into Moses, and whistle sounds as he goes on in. He was fouled on the way to the basket by Parish. Robert Parish Parish on the personal foul.
There you see Parish stick out that tummy and bump Moses as he's going by.
And Moses, 82% from the free throw line, been getting an awful lot of tries. And more successful this year than he has been in the past. Moses, for his career, is just 74%. 1 out of 2 for Moses. Celtics lead 2-1. The Celtics have a 3-game advantage on the 76ers in the Atlantic Division standings as we start the game tonight. So this ball game is not for position in the standings. Here's Bird being guarded by Doc. Dennis Johnson and Julius coming around from behind to block it. Johnson's shot is also blocked, and here come the Sixers. It's good, and Barkley was fouled.
Once more, we're seeing that Charles Barkley just refuses to be denied on these fast breaks, and the fact that Maxwell would not stop and not take the charge and kept moving his feet kept Barkley from committing a charge there.
The rebound to the Sixers. Sixers ahead by a 3-2 score. Here's Tony, a little off target. Malone fights for the rebound. It goes out of bounds, tipped out by Boston. And so the 76ers keep it, and you can see that Barkley is playing spirited basketball right from the start. Bird guarding Barkley now. Maxwell is on Doc at the moment. Cheeks goes in on Ainge, throws up a floater and finds the range. Sixers lead it by a 5-2 score. Danny Ainge up the sideline, wants to go to the post, finds Maxwell up against Barkley. It's good, and Barkley draws a foul.
This is going to be the most difficult assignment for the Sixers on defense. Charles Barkley on Cedric Maxwell. Maxwell is one of the best in the business and working free on the baseline and around the basket. He rarely ventures more than 8 feet away, and he can really take advantage of an inexperienced defender.
So Maxey gets a 3-point play, and the Celtics tie the game. We've played 2 minutes. They're still feeling one another out here on the court. And we've had quite a few fouls committed already as both teams are establishing the fact that this is indeed a physical game. Julius off target. Sixers not shooting well. Rebounded by Maxwell. Here's Bird. He's going to hear it every time. Into the post to Parish. Goes the baseline route on Moses. And a rebound for Barkley. Sixers up in a hurry, but the Celtics get back quickly on defense. The Celtics are good at the transition game. Moses with position, but the ball knocked away and stolen. Dennis Johnson moving it up front for Boston. Johnson off target. An offensive foul. It's going to be on Parish.
You can see the contact over the top as Barkley had the position, the better position there. 2 fouls now for Robert Parish.
It's ruled a loose ball foul, so it's team foul number 3 on the Celtics. Moses facing the basket, cannot hit. And the Sixers with a very poor shooting percentage, only 2 out of 8 thus far. Down to Parish. We've got a 5-5 tie. Rebound out to Tony as it bounced over Bird's head, and here come the Sixers again, needing to make a shot. Cheeks gets his second field goal. Sixers have been getting some pretty good shots, and they lead it 7-5. Dennis Johnson, some say the Celtics acquired him simply to play defense against Tony. I guess we won't have to tell you when Bird gets the ball. You'll be able to hear it. Here's Parish again. They've certainly played to him often here in the early moments, and he gets his second field goal. That ties the game 7-all.
Looks like the Sixers really want to challenge Danny Ainge, as the Sixers conversely are going to Mo Cheeks quite a bit.
Carried out of bounds by Maxwell after Moses Malone bothered him on the play.
Now here's Mo Cheeks as he gets a little help from Charles Barkley and goes right by the Celtics.
Sixers lead it 9-7. Doc going to work on Dennis Johnson. Julius hits his first field goal. You'll remember that Doc was having a horrible night when he and Bird got into a battle, and Doc was ejected from that ball game, and Julius just wound up with 6 points in that game. Maxwell on a quick turnaround hook, no good. Barkley sweeps the board. Tony and the Celtics wind up with it as Bird gets the rebound. Maxey gives it up to Dennis Johnson. It'll be knocked out by Moses. Celtics have won the board so far by a 6-4 margin. Blocked by Julius. A 3-on-2 break results. The block shot paying off in the basket, and the Sixers lead it 13-7. Larry Bird has yet to score in this ball game. And Julius blocks the shot. Parish follows, can't get it. Rebound to Parish again. Bird, he's in the scoring column now.
I don't think I need to say anything for a while. Let's just let the action speak for itself here.
Honestly, I believe that that I could do the same, Barnes. This crowd is really into it, and I think eventually tonight they're going to help the Sixers. Moses. Malone's first field goal. Sixers up by 6, and a breakaway basket for Maxwell as the Sixers fell asleep on defense a little bit, and Maxwell got the cherry pick. We're almost halfway through a very spirited opening quarter of basketball. Malone again. Offensive rebound, Julius, and the drop it.
Charles Barkley is doing an excellent job of keeping Larry Bird off of the backboard. The Celtics won a timeout. And with 6:05 left to go here in the opening quarter, the 76ers 17 and the Boston Celtics 11.
Fan, the only thing better than having Prism is having tickets to a game, and Prism wants you to have both. Right now, Prism subscribers can get a special ticket plan with first-level seats for 8 great games at a discount price. Take 25% off the regular cost just because you're a Prism subscriber. But don't delay. Call Charge by phone at 215-339-7676 or stop by the Sixers ticket window at the vet and tell them Prism sent you.
Jim, we pointed out about how the Sixers were not shooting very good basketball early, but the Celtics haven't shot well either. They're only 5 for 17. That's 29%. Meantime, the Sixers have been hitting some shots now, and they've moved to the 50% mark, 8 out of 16. Maxwell to inbound. In case anybody wondered where McHale was, he's here. He was introduced and didn't step out on the court tonight, but he was out there in the warm-ups, and he is on the bench right now. And certainly the league's top 6th man this year will be in the game shortly. Bird overshoots, and a rebound for Tony. Fired up to Julius.
There was an outstanding pass by Andrew Toney. Outstanding play by Tony.
And the Sixers take an 8-point lead. Julius getting his 3rd field goal of the quarter. Barkley right out on Maxwell. Danny Ainge is open, hits the dong jump shot. Danny Ainge out of Brigham Young University, former baseball star with Toronto, who changed directions in his pro career and decided to go for basketball. McHale getting off the bench. He'll be in the next time the whistle sounds. Moses double team, couldn't get a shot away. And again he gives up the ball. Cheeks puts it in. That's 4 field goals in the quarter for Cheeks. Here come the Celtics back in a hurry. They are best, of course, when you're missing shots and they can fast break. Danny Ainge, you can't leave him wide open like that. He'll gun him in. Sixers by a 6-point margin, 21-15, just under 5 to play in the quarter. Ball delivered to Moses. Rebound Barkley, and Charles travels. That's only the Sixers' 2nd turnover. Now here's McHale coming on, number 32 out of Minnesota, a $1 million a year guy who is a substitute. Isn't that something? He'll replace Parish. Dennis Johnson bringing it across. Maxwell, Barkley gives him a little room. And Maxey hangs it short. It wasn't like he was out of room. He just made a bad shot. Julius on a great pass to Barkley.
Well, the Sixers being able to run now, better than they normally do against the Celtics. And it's paying off.
A three-point try by Ainge is no good. Barkley's got another rebound. Here come the breaking Sixers. Tony has it knocked away and stolen by Ainge. Feed it up to Bird. He led him by too much. A bad pass by Danny Ainge. Sixers got a break there. And Billy Cunningham is about ready to make his first substitution as he sends Bobby Jones to midcourt. Again, the Celtics are having Dennis Johnson guard Doc. They've done this several times tonight. And Julius hits a jump shot. That's a most unusual defense.
Well, I'll explain why if we ever have a break in the action here.
Maxwell on a wild field goal. It's 25-17, the Sixers.
Dennis, here we have a Sixers timeout. Philadelphia leading 25-17. 3 minutes and 14 seconds left in quarter number 1.
Bobby Jones into the ball game for the Sixers now. And Julius Erving gets a rest. Just over 3 minutes to play in the opening period. They've gone back to Dennis Johnson on Tony as of this moment with Doc out of the ball game. Tony delivers to Moses. Moses draws the double team coverage, as happens almost every time. And he gets hammered by McHale as he goes on in for the field goal try. The Sixers are winning the boards as of this moment, 15-11. And the Celtics shooting percentage has dropped to a frigid 35% right now. The Celtics have shot only one free throw in the game thus far. That was Maxwell when he had a chance at a three-point play and completed it. And Moses with 4 points. Sixers lead at 26-17. Clint Richardson now guarding Ainge. Clint just into the ball game. And a whistle sounds as the ball goes down to Johnson. We've got a foul here on Tony. That's only the second team foul on the 76ers. 2:45 to play in this opening quarter. A three-pointer, but it doesn't go. And Barkley gets the rebound. He is the top three-point shooter in the league, is Bird. 55% of his three-point tries. That's better than he does at regular field goal distance. And the Sixers lead at 28-17. Looking for Bird. Here he is. Goes by Bobby Jones. Gets help from Barkley. Stepped on the end line. And the Celtics turn it over. Larry Bird getting off to a staggering start tonight. Technical foul. K.C. Jones. Tommy Nunez has put the T on K.C.
I would bet that this is an intentional technical taken by K.C. Jones. His team is a little flat right now. They're not playing the Celtic type of basketball that we've come to know over the years. They've been a little bit lax there. They've been letting the Sixers get good shots. They've been letting them run their break. They've been a little careless handling the ball, and K.C.'s just wants to kind of wake things up a little bit. Of course, if he does it again, he's gone.
That's a 12-point lead for Philadelphia as Tony converts. Here we go to Moses in the post. And Moses makes a move, puts it up. Good. What a tough shot by Malone. He has 8 points. He and Julius each with 8, as does Cheeks. 3 Sixers with 8 points. As we hit the 2-minute mark, the Sixers are enjoying a 14-point lead. And a low-scoring period for the Celtics. Bird travels. Larry Bird not playing Larry Bird-like basketball tonight. There's Tony guarded by Johnson, but he goes right down the lane and scores, and the Sixers are up by a staggering 16 points. If you'd have seen the game at Madison Square Garden last night, you wouldn't figure that this would be possible. And Boston takes a timeout. 1:32 left in the quarter. 33-17, the Sixers. For 16, that's 80%. And And they lead here 33-17, a minute and a half to go in the first quarter. Maxwell way out. Barkley still with him. Now McHale, Moses with him. And Bird, 5 on the timer as Bird puts it up and in. Larry gets a field goal, his second. It's 33-19. McHale an assist. Andrew Toney up the left sideline. Moses going to go out and set a screen for him. And he does. He picks off his man. The ball delivered to Richardson. Moses with a straightaway jumper, no good. McHale for the rebound. Less than a minute to play in the opening quarter. Dennis Johnson on a tough line driver. That's his first field goal. Dennis chips in at 18 points a game, in addition to the usually great defense that he plays. Barkley muscles one up. That was a tough shot. Moses with the rebound. He gets sandwiched in between two guys. No foul call. Here's Moses again. No again. Barkley gets it. And we finally got a foul. No field goal, but that was flat-out work for the Sixers.
Well, give a lot of the credit to that man. Moses is enough to have to contend with in there if you're the Boston front court. But when you have Charles Barkley as involved as he is in this first quarter, you've really got a pair of twin towers at work.
The foul finally whistled on Danny Ainge. It puts the Celtics in the penalty. 29 seconds left in the quarter.
This might be as good a first quarter for Barkley in terms of rebounding and defense I think we've seen this year.
We have Barkley unofficially with 8 rebounds thus far. That is a good quarter's work. And the Sixers lead it 35-21. Richardson guarding Ainge. Bobby Jones now on Bird. Toney guarding Dennis. No good, but a foul on Toney, a look-in foul. Andrew, the first Sixer to draw his second. The first of the last 2 minutes on the Sixers, but it's a shooting foul nevertheless. And Dennis Johnson, an 83%er on the free throw line. Dennis out of Pepperdine. A very durable player, has missed only 17 games in 8 seasons in the NBA.
When you're one of 16 children, you learn durability.
You learn never to sit at starvation corner. DJ makes them both, and the Sixers lead at 35-23. 15 seconds left to go in the quarter. The timer turned off. Sixers can use it all. Everybody packing it in down low, giving Toney a little room to drive to Richardson. Jumper good with 1 second showing. Lead pass to Ainge, led him by too much. Because it goes out of bounds, the clock doesn't start, and the Sixers get it with that same 1 second still showing.
And Ainge got a knee or an ankle caught on the top of the chair down there and landed hard on his shoulder. But he's all right.
Sixers going to get it under their own basket as a result of that court-length throwaway. In the old days, the clock would have simply expired, but no longer.
Nobody was going to help Danny Ainge up over there, I'll tell you.
Richardson does not get the shot away. So at the end of 1 quarter, Sixers looking good. It's 37-23 Sixers.
It's time now to reach back into the NBA archives. Bill Russell was selected as the greatest player in NBA history by a poll of basketball writers in 1980. The 5-time MVP from the University of San Francisco averaged over 15 points and 22 rebounds per game in 13 seasons with the Boston Celtics. Bill played on 11 championship teams, including the 1968 and 69 teams when he was player coach. And he was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1974. His confrontations with the great Wilt Chamberlain have become legendary. And the second line guys play very few minutes so far this season. How about this for an opening play? They're going to steal one here.
And they do. They get away with it as Bird throws it the length of the court, and they get a quick one. Sixers obviously not looking for that. At the end of one quarter tonight, New Jersey leading Milwaukee 30-29. That game being played in the Meadowlands. Sixers have the Bucks next, and they are undefeated at home. Barkley makes a turn that Dennis Johnson wasn't expecting. What a move by Barkley, 39-25. These teams still have some tricks up their sleeves yet. No trouble telling when Bird's got the ball. Dennis Johnson goes inside, makes a bad pass. Bird tries to save it in. He cannot. And the Celtics have turned it over twice as frequently as the Sixers. 6 Boston turnovers, only 3 for Philadelphia, as turnovers plagued them last night, but Billy Cunningham has the team guarding the basketball tonight. Celtics gambling a little on defense, and in so doing, Sixers are bound to find somebody open. 4 on the timer as Richardson gets it away, and Bird has the rebound. Tony sets up for Dennis Johnson, who hits the jump shot. It's a 12-point lead, 39-27. Maurice Cheeks will be back to work here shortly. And the Boston Strangler fails to hit one. Andrew Toney, remember, he did not play in that first game. Now Cheeks is coming on for the Sixers, and Scott Wedman, number 8, checks in for Boston. And Larry Bird goes to the bench. Larry has 2 field goals tonight. 4 points for Bird as he goes to the bench. Here's Scotty Wedman. At one time, Scotty, a regular player, first into the league with Kansas City, and a good one. Johnson over top Richardson. He's going to be tough to stop. He has just hit Toney and Richardson with field goals. 39-29 as the Celtics knock 6 points off the Sixers' biggest lead. Bobby Jones. Bobby's first shot. And Julius Erving will be back to work here shortly as well. Dennis Johnson racing inside. They're going to call a bumping foul on Richardson, staying with him. Julius in, and Bobby Jones leads. Julius had a good first quarter, had 8 points. Cheeks is guarding Ainge. Julius guarding Wedman. And Wedman sneaks free under the basket, and Moses Malone knocks the ball away from him. Wedman was able to lose Julius, but Moses was there to help out. Ainge off the inbound pass scores. Danny Ainge gets his 3rd field goal. Here's a guy who was averaging only 13 a game, but hit 25 points last night. The Celtics are going to bring Quinn Buckner into the game shortly.
Everybody thought it was a real mistake when the Celtics got rid of Gerald Henderson and left the backcourt job to Ainge. Not so.
Barkley gets his own shot back after it was blocked on him, and Barkley has 10 points. Here's a lead pass up to McHale, and he lost it. Picked up by Richardson, who came back to help out. Oh, the ball's flying around there right now. Here's going to be a foul on McHale.
I'll tell you, Charles Barkley is having a heck of a time here. He had a great first quarter. He's very active out there, and he's creating things. In this case, the best thing that happened was that Kevin McHale now has 2 personal fouls on a foolish one there, contesting Charles Barkley about 18 feet away from the hoop.
And Barkley 2 out of 3 on the free throw line tonight.
He's also got to be getting a little tired out there. He's been going full throttle here for quite a while.
Boy, that's a good point, Jim. He's got to be tired, and yet Billy Cunningham likes what he's seeing and is reluctant to give him a blow, which he obviously could use before very long. Probably what he's doing is going to rest Bobby and then bring him back in to play for Barkley rather than Sam Williams, who he's been using in that position lately. We'll see. We shouldn't speculate on that. It's 44-31. The 76ers in the lead. There they go to Parish, and he was out of position for that shot. Run down by Quinn Buckner just into the ball game. Lob down to Parry and stolen. The ball was intended for McHale, but Barkley stole it and then gave it away. A bad pass by Barkley. 8:37 left to go. In the first half, 76ers shot 55% in the opening quarter tonight to Boston's 39%. What a block by Moses. And again, the Celtics got back on D, though. No chance for a fast break. The Sixers won the boards in the opening quarter 20-12. Little off target for Cheeks, and Robert Parish clears it. 8 minutes remaining in the first half. Buckner goes to McHale. Or excuse me, Scott Wedman with the shot. That's Wedman. Wedman gets the field goal. .33 the 76ers, and a 20-second timeout called by Billy Cunningham. Moses rest. It's 44-33 the Sixers. And Barkley to trigger the play. Charles has not had a blow yet tonight. Every other Sixer has had rest in this ball game, but Barkley. That's really amazing, isn't it? We've got a foul. Sixers got Richardson free inside. Quinn Buckner fouled him. .37 left to go in the first half, and free throws will come for Richardson. Clint makes him at 72%. Sixers got out quick tonight. You know, the Celtics haven't lost a home game yet. They are 11-0 at Boston. Their only 2 road defeats came at Washington, and that was the night after they played the Sixers, and at Detroit. Maxwell rebounds the miss. It's 45-33 Sixers. QB Quinn Buckner, the quarterback of the Celtics right now. Wedman launches a long one. Good for Scott Wedman, his second field goal. Cheeks to Barkley. Cunningham making no move to get Barkley out of the ball game. Clem Johnson straightaway jumper, and it's good. That can really help when Clemens picks up the offense that Moses takes to the bench with him. And now Bobby Jones gets the call, and here's a loose ball. Delivered to Barkley, and he let it get away. Barkley's going to come out of the ball game now. Bobby Jones will be in. And a timeout called by the 76ers. 6:51 left in the first half. Sixers ahead 47-35.
The intensity would always be there, and I think he's right. You get more of a finesse game when you play the Lakers. You see more individual skills at work. This is down and dirty when you play the Celtics. Everybody in there banging away, fight for survival.
And so now, for the first time tonight, the Sixers will play without Charles Barkley, the last of the starters to get rest in this game. 6:51 to play, second quarter. Bobby Jones, who earlier had spelled Erving, is now spelling Barkley. Quinn Buckner in handling the ball for Boston. Almost stolen by Doc. He had it picked free, but then he ran out of room to get up. 15 on the timer for the Celtics. Nearly stolen again by Cheeks, one of the league leaders in steals. And so is Doc. Dennis Johnson, baseline shot. Dennis Johnson with 10 points, and he is leading the Celtics in scoring right now. And the Celtics still with Larry Bird on the bench, a rather long bench session for Bird. Billy Cunningham's going to put Sedale Freed in there shortly. Up and good. .49-37 favor the 76ers.
Bird is getting ready to come back in now. I think Casey Jones really hopes that having a chance to see, there's a foul called, having a chance to sit down, relax, calm down, kind of regenerate yourself will help.
So Richardson leaves. Andrew Toney returns for the 76ers, and as Jim just mentioned, number 33, Larry Bird, is back in for Boston. Free throws coming here for Scotty Wedman.
Didn't let him in. He's sitting now at the scorer's table. He didn't get up there in time.
Or maybe he's coming in for Wedman. That's more.
Yeah, you're right.
Scotty, 32 years of age, 11 years in the league out of Colorado. Bobby Jones has the rebound. 49-38 Sixers. Delivered to Doc inside. Fall backer at close range. Won't go. Rebounded by Wedman. Dennis Johnson puts a little shake move, but Cheek stayed right with him. Maxwell right up tight on Bobby Jones. Maxey again. Fouled this time. Maxwell on his second effort. Fouled by Julius. And now Bird gets back in.
Maxwell, the senior citizen on this Boston team. He's been with the Celtics longer than anybody. Currently on the roster. Was a late signee this year and came to camp out of shape. Is just now beginning to kind of round into form for him. One of the all-time field goal percentage shooters for a forward.
Maxey, an 85%er on the line, misses one. You got a glimpse of Danny Ainge returning to work for Boston. And the Celtics stay right there. It's 49-39. 5.5 minutes left to play in the second quarter. Tony has had some great games against Boston. Cheeks. And Bird has the rebound. Bobby Jones knocked down underneath, but he's all right. Dennis Johnson, what a pass. That was a great pass to Bird. And Bird knew what to do with it when he got it. The Celtics have cut their biggest deficit in half now. Clem Johnson posted, the ball kicked, and the Sixers get a new 24. Moses Malone back in, Clem Johnson to the bench. Moses 8 points in the first quarter tonight. Julius one-on-one with Maxwell. Doc a little off target, and Bobby Jones gets the rebound, blocked by Parish. Here's Cheeks, scut. Points for Cheeks and another 10-point Philadelphia lead, 51-41. Tony knocked down inside to Bird, blocked by Moses. Cheeks is fouled. A non-shooting foul. It's going to be on Danny Ainge. And that was a kind of a short rest for Charles Barkley, just long enough to get his breath, Jim. Right back in, and Bobby Jones out. Billy Cunningham tightening up his player rotation tonight. He has not yet gone to Sedale Freed or Sam Williams. And the Sixers have lost it. That's only the 6th turnover on Philadelphia tonight. Just over 4 minutes to play in a very interesting first half. Sixers by 10 at the moment. Maxey and Barkley right with him. Stolen by Cheeks. And Cheeks is fouled by Maxwell. And Maxwell winds up on the apron of the court. Cheeks kept his feet.
I don't know what Dan Ainge and Charles Barkley are going to be discussing here, but I think a little bit of a misunderstanding as to whether there was any kind of an intentional shoving in there of Maxwell and Cheeks. And Ainge is kind of protecting his team's interest and Charles protecting the Sixers' interest, but a good clean play all the way, I do believe. 4:01 left to play here in this second quarter. We have a 20-second timeout for the Celtics, and they trail at 51-41. Charles Barkley played 25 minutes at Madison Square Garden last night. Bit under his norm, so he might be in better shape to withstand the pounding than some of these guys tonight. But Charles has played almost this entire first half, and he's played it full speed, and that's putting it mildly. But the presence of Barkley sure does nullify the inside power of the Celtics with Parish and Maxwell and Bird.
Maurice on the line for the first time tonight, 85% for him this year. halftime tonight, Chicago and Detroit tied 47 apiece. Sixers have the Bulls coming up on Saturday night as they will visit Michael Jordan's home. It's a 12-point Philadelphia lead, 53-41. Cheeks and Ames. Boy, he's almost carrying the ball, and the crowd wants to try to point that out to the referees. Dennis Johnson gets Tony in the air and then hits the field goal. That's a big play for Boston right there, because Tony picks up his third.
And just a classic play here, a classic jump shot by Johnson. Makes Tony into the air, leans into him, draws the foul, and because he is so strong, he is able to get the shot off with something on it. And now a chance for a three-point play.
So Andrew Tony has to come out of the ball game, replaced by number 3, Sadale Threet. That was a veteran play right there by Dennis Johnson, who is indeed a veteran, his 9th year in the league. And he leads the Celtics with 13 points. There's Sadale just into the ball game. 53-44, the Sixers, 3.5 to go first half. Barkley running one-hander won't go. Rebound out to Ames. The Celtics were ahead way back early in the game, but not for a long time. Maxwell guarded by Doc, travels. The Celtics 11th turnover, and Maxey a little frustrated right now. Julius Erving is having a fine game. 10 points for Doc, and he's been playing tight defense. In the second quarter, neither Malone nor Parish has scored a point tonight. Two starting centers. Erving a little short. Parish has a rebound. A 9-point lead for the 76ers as the Celtics move it up. Boy, he is something. Here's the guy. 15 points for Dennis Johnson. A great defensive player, also the shooting guard in Boston's scheme of things. Dennis Johnson is nearly at his average right now. He averages 18 points a game, and he has 15 already. Difference it makes when Cheeks is hitting the outside shot, and he has 14 points tonight, over his average. His average is 13 a game. 55-46. Larry Bird lets it go. Bird has had 2 field goals in each quarter, 8 points in the game. Billy Cunningham again sends Bobby Jones to midcourt to spell one of his forwards as we reach the 2-minute mark of the first half. Barkley with Bird. Rebound Parish. Lead it all the way up to Maxey. Drops it off to Bird. A foul before the field goal. No field goal, but a pushing foul on Julius. He draws his third.
We have a Boston timeout here with 1:46 to play in the second quarter. The Sixers by 7, 55-48. Current NBA standings finds the Boston Celtics atop the Atlantic Division with an awesome 19-2 record. The 76ers at 16-5 are not far behind and can pick up a game by beating Boston tonight. The Bullets are on the 76ers' heels with injury-plagued New Jersey and New York next. The perennial Central Division champions, the Milwaukee Bucks, lead the Chicago Bulls by a game and the Detroit Pistons by a game and a half. The Atlanta Hawks are fourth and are followed by the perennial stellar dwellers, the Indiana Pacers, and the Cleveland Cavaliers. Doug Moe's Denver Nuggets are not last in NBA defense anymore and lead the NBA's Midwest Division by 3 games over the Twin Towers, Samson and Olajuwon, and the rest of the Houston Rockets. Last season's division-winning Utah Jazz are in third place, with Dallas, San Antonio, and struggling Kansas City next. Out west, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, Magic Johnson, and friends are the Pacific Division leaders. Phoenix and Portland are also above the 500 mark, with Seattle, the Los Angeles Clippers, and Golden State bringing up the rear. a jam-packed Spectrum tonight. You mentioned 12 guys dressed like Santa Claus. Big shot is sky high for this game. There's a bunch of folks down from the Spectrum there. That's how high he is. Or a bunch of folks down from the Spectrum. A bunch of folks down here at the Spectrum for Boston tonight. One of the real electric nights. This is a happening in Philadelphia.
This is a chance for about 2.5 hours to get your mind off the fact that the Eagles may be leaving us, huh?
Yep.
Nobody's mentioned that, at least for 60 minutes. Maxwell going to the free throw line now with 1:46 left in the first half. 55-48 favor the Sixers. They've been ahead nearly all the way. The only Celtic lead was way back in the early moments. Boston center Robert Parish, who can score with the best of them, has only 2 field goals tonight. His average is 19. He got them in the first quarter. But a Sixer lead, which was once as high as 16 points, is down to 5 right now. Sedale Freed into the ball game because Tony picked up his third. Julius is out of the ball game now. He has 3. Tough move by Moses. What a shot by Malone. He gets his first field goal of the quarter. Sixers would like to hold them off here. They would love to have a 9 or 10 point lead by halftime. Here goes Bird. He's finally getting it going. That's 10 points for Bird. 57-52, minute 5 left in the first half. Moses had position, and he was hacked before he could make a move. What a great place to deliver the ball to your center. The foul is on Bird, his first.
One thing the Sixers have been doing with pretty good regularity tonight is getting the ball to Moses where he's not immediately surrounded by people. Oh, it's happened a couple of times, but more than often, Malone has been able to get that ball with a chance to make a move at the basket.
And Moses makes a pair, 59-52. It's Sedale Freed now guarding Danny Ainge. Oh, he's all over Danny. And he can't find the pass. Finally bails it out to Dennis Johnson, and that was indeed a bailout pass. We've got a foul just as Parish went for the hook shot. The foul on Moses, his first of the game.
I think you're going to see some body contact, although it may appear that Moses gets the ball blocked effectively, but he's leaning across there pretty good.
Sixers are into the penalty. We have 38 seconds remaining in the first half. The Nets 59, the Bucks 58 at halftime tonight. Parish has scored for the first time in the quarter. Celtics stay right there. 5-point game. A half minute from halftime. With Moses for the rebound, put it up, no. Follow-up tip, no. Moses again, head fake, he travels. Billy Cunningham was effectively blocking Bird on the inbound pass there. Billy did not think that was a travel. And of course, if it wasn't a travel, then you have to call the foul because Moses was definitely fouled on the play. Celtics holding for 1 shot. The guy to take it. 4 seconds left. And that's the end of the first half with the score, the Philadelphia 76ers 59 and the Celtics 56.
Good evening to you and welcome to this halftime edition of Prism Sports. I'm Mark Zumoff. We are at halftime of tonight's Prism exclusive. The 76ers and the Boston Celtics, the Sixers leading it here at the half. Stay with us. We'll have first half highlights for you coming up in just a moment. The 76ers and the Boston Celtics. It will remain a rivalry, I think, for a long time to come, especially if the teams remain as good as they have been over the past few years. And really, except for brief periods in their history, both teams have been excellent. And so the rivalry has flourished, beginning with 1965, when Havlicek stole the ball. Well, the names and faces change, but the intensity remains the same. The Sixers by 3 here at the half, 59-56. Highlights from tonight's first half of action are on the way. One of the ironies of the Eagles' apparent move to Phoenix is just what we happen to be featuring this month here on Prism. On his scrapbook show, Jim Barniak spoke with Upton Bell. Now, he's the son of the man who founded the Eagles way back in 1933. That, of course, is the late Bert Bell. In this segment from the show, Upton delivers another irony: how his father Bert purchased the Eagles only after losing a lot of money while gambling.
His father had given him $100,000 for a wedding present in, let's say, the middle 20s. and he was to marry the society woman. He agreed to marry her as long as he got the dough, as he would call it, up front. Father gave him $100,000, went to Saratoga Racetrack on a Saturday with Alfred Gwynn Vanderbilt, and proceeded to blow all of it in one day, which is very difficult. He came back, told his father he blew the money, and on top of that, he was not marrying the society girl. His father subsequently threw him out of the house, told him that there was a job for him as much as he loved him at the Ritz-Carlton Hotel, which his father owned, but no more money for Bert Bell. So when the time came to buy the Eagles, he married my mother a couple of days earlier. Her name was Frances Upton. She was an actress. At that time, she was making $5,000 or $10,000 a week. Now, we're thinking about, let's say, the early 30s, and that's a lot of money still today, but a fortune then. He borrowed the money from her because the father would not lend him the money to buy his passion. She married him one day, and the next day he borrowed $3,300 to buy the Eagles.
$3,300.
Yeah.
Now, the Eagles were then bouncing around, playing at the Baker Bowl and whatever. But your father did it all. They tell me he coached the team, he sold tickets, he got the stories in the newspaper that they were playing. He even ran down to Franklin Field sometimes and discouraged, or baseball games even, to discourage people from buying tickets there and say, hey, come on up and see my Eagles. He did it all.
He actually, people talk about movies today and people's lives. I mean, this actually happened. There was a day when Bert Bell, there was nobody playing. He was playing in JFK Stadium. Then it was called Municipal Stadium, right down from the Spectrum, right where Prism is, their studios. He had no advance sale. And one of the MacPhails was coming into town that was involved with the Brooklyn Dodgers. I believe it was MacPhail. And he had a girlfriend, and he wanted her to see her first pro football game. My father called him a couple of days ahead of time and said, listen, there isn't a damn ticket sold. There is no advance. Nobody wants to see us, and nobody wants to see you. The Brooklyn Dodgers in those days had a pretty good team. And he said to him, I've got to see the game. My girlfriend wants to see the game. Now, can you imagine today putting a game on because your girlfriend wants to see it? So he said, okay, I've got to play the game. It's scheduled. So what he did the day of the game, still no tickets sold, it was raining, he went across town to what was Shibe Park at that time, I believe, got a bullhorn, got out in the middle of the street and announced that the A's game had been called off because of rain, but the Eagles were still playing. Now, this is across the other side of Philadelphia. Got in the car, came back again, got out in the middle of Broad Street and announced no A's game today, but plenty of tickets here for this game. Well, the game went on. It rained like hell. There was nobody in the stands. MacPhail and his girlfriend in the press box with 73 other freeloaders, and he was still coaching the game. They got the hell beat out of them on top of it.
Upton Bell, the son of Eagles founder Bert Bell, talking with Jim Barniak on this month's edition of Sports Scrapbook. You can see the entire program tomorrow night beginning at 7 o'clock.
Back with their starting five as well, including Dennis Johnson, who has carried them tonight. He has 15 points, and he's the only guy on either team that played all 24 minutes in the first half tonight. Boston ball, and Bird inbounds to Ainge, but it was knocked away in a collision, but no foul as Ainge and Doc collide. We're underway with the Sixers ahead, 59-56. Tony right out on Ainge, who makes a great pass to Maxwell, and he scores. And so it's a one-point ball game, 59-58, as the Celtics answer back. Cheeks looks to Barkley. Barkley guarded by Bird. Ainge over to help out. And we've got a whistle, and we've got a foul here on Maxwell. No, it's not a foul. It's illegal defense, and Maxwell's the guy out of position. That's the first illegal D warning we've had tonight. Tony lobs it into Julius. Doc a little trouble getting the handle. Goes with the jump shot anyway, but it's no good. And now the Celtics have a chance to go ahead for the first time since the early moments of the game.
Good defense inside by the Celtics.
Larry Bird, it's 60-59 Boston.
The Celtics will get back in this game quickly unless the Philadelphia 76ers can reestablish that inside game. Here we go.
Tough angle for Moses, but he puts it up just right. Malone with 14 points. And Parish was right there, but was reluctant to commit a foul. Parish has two personals. He got them early tonight. Doc guards Bird, and it comes to Maxwell. Ainge is wide open. 8 points in the ball game for Danny Ainge. Boston ahead 62-61. Julius guarded by Maxwell. At the other end, he's got Larry Bird, or at least he did last time up. Cheeks was wide open, but it didn't hit the spot. And Parish has a rebound. Dennis Johnson, their hot scorer, touches the ball for the first time and goes with the shot immediately. No good. Barkley boards. Bad pass by Barkley, intercepted by Johnson. And a bad pass by Ainge, picked off by Barkley. A 3-on-1. And Tony made a mid-air change of decision there. Julius is fouled on the play. Tony changed his mind in mid-air.
There was just great respect for Larry Bird. Larry Bird drifted around, and just by his presence, he took the Sixers out of that 3-on-1 fast break. Nobody knew what to do because they didn't know how Bird was going to react.
Bird committing his second personal foul. The Flyers 2, Toronto nothing at the end of one period tonight. Erving's first trip to the free throw line tonight. You see that he's been making about 76% of his shots. And Julius gives the 76ers a lead, 63-62. Bird passes to Ainge. He gets the shot away. No good. Rebounded by Barkley. And Barkley gives it up off the drive. Moses swatted away by Bird, but we've got a foul. Danny Ainge on the personal. Bird with the blocked shot. And Ainge becomes the first Celtic to draw its third. KC calling Ainge over for a quick contact. And so Moses Malone, who in the first half went 4 out of 6 on the line, gets a pair. (65-62). Moses with 16. Barkley guarding Maxwell. They've been matched up most of the night when they've been in the ball game together. Tony with Danny Ainge around to Bird, wide open, and he missed one. Come the Sixers, but the Celtics got back. It was a 2-on-3, so Tony didn't force it. Nothing there. Tony's still working on Ainge, drops it off to Moses. Moses on the end line. Turnovers have not hurt that much tonight. Celtics have a dozen of them. The Sixers have 9. Same spread we had at halftime, 3 points. Foul inside. They tried to go to Bird, and Barkley bumped him, and there's going to be a foul, I believe, on Julius. Erving becomes the first player in the game to pick up his 4th foul.
Well, Julius was chasing Bird. Bird stopped suddenly, and Julius crashed into him. He couldn't stop, and Charles just was the peacemaker there, helping everybody up.
Here they go to Bird. Doc lets him have the shot, and Larry hits it. So 16 points for Bird. He and Malone each have 16. Dennis Johnson with 15. And the 76ers lead trimmed to 1 with Kevin McHale at midcourt ready to come in. Julius works on Maxwell. 14 for Doc. Sixers by 3 again. 8 minutes to play, third quarter. Dennis Johnson. Rebound goes to the Celtics. Up and good for Maxwell. He gets his 14th point of the game as Maxwell is well over his average. Erving can't quite get it, and a rebound to Parish. Now the Celtics a chance to go ahead again. Bird missing. Erving rebounding. Moses on Parish.
of Malone pays off here as Robert Parish a little bit late getting over there. And again, his feet still moving when he leans into Moses Malone, hence the foul call.
And so Moses reclaims the honor as top scorer in the ball game. That's his 19th point, and the 76ers lead by 4 at 70-66. Boston will keep it. Cheeks almost plucked it free. Cheeks had 1 steal in the first half tonight. The Celtics did not get any points off steals in the first half tonight, and Bird is open underneath. So it's 70-68. Sixers ahead, but just barely in a whale of a ball game. The second of 6 titanic meetings between these teams this year. Barkley, the rookie forward, has 13 points. Trying to go to McHale. Punched away and stolen by the Sixers. That was a pass to Moses, but it was intercepted by Bird. Here come the Celtics. McHale. The interception of the pass turned into a fast break Boston basket and a 2-point game again.
You just can't make a mistake out there. Both of these teams so good that they turn those mistakes into baskets.
Julius with Bird. Tony gives it up to Cheeks, guarded by Ainge. Ball gets free, but Julius runs it down. 2 in the timer, but now he's on the sideline. Danny Ainge out of room. Timeout called by the 76ers. 5:54 left in the third quarter. Sixers ahead, 72-70. To the bench now. 5:54 left in the third quarter. Barkley looks for the inbound and gets it to Tony. Sixers by 2 points. One-on-one, everybody on the other side of the floor. And Tony works it in tight enough for the shot. That's the first basket by a 76er guard in the second half. And 7 points for Tony. 74-70 the Sixers. Bird up against Bobby Jones, puts it in. 20 points for Larry Bird. He's the top scorer in the game, despite a very cold start for Larry tonight.
Most guys have 2 or 3 favorite spots they like to get the ball. Larry Bird gets it everywhere.
Dennis Johnson and Tony. Andrew up high, no good. Rebound, Robert Parish. 5 minutes left in the first half. Tony got knocked down, but he is not hurt. Dennis Johnson certainly hot in the first half tonight. Here's Parish moving on Moses, and a travel. Under 5 minutes to play here in the third quarter. A sellout crowd at the Spectrum. A lot of excitement tonight. And a drop-off pass to Barkley, but he was bothered on that shot. Barkley goes down hard. No foul. Ball out of bounds goes to Boston, and no call. Lob pass into Parish. Quick turnaround on Moses is good. Robert Parish gets only his 3rd field goal tonight, and the Celtics have tied it up. That ball was kicked, a new 24 for the Sixers. 4:16 left third quarter. Next game for the Sixers will find them up against the top defensive team in the league. Here they are tonight playing the top offensive team. And on Friday night they go against Milwaukee, the leaders in defense. A whistle before the shot by Moses. And we've got a foul on Dennis Johnson. That's the first foul of the ball game on Dennis, a defensive specialist. Well, Barkley, who was a bit of an Iron Man in the first half, playing 21 of the 24 minutes, again being called on for every every minute of this quarter thus far. Moses fouled this time as he heads toward the basket. And it's on Robert Parish, his fourth. Parish, the first Celtic to pick up number 4.
We have seen this in almost every instance where the Celtics and Sixers have played, where Moses is able to get Robert Parish in foul trouble. He has only fouled out of 1 game so far this year. That's pretty good for him at this stage.
Here is Greg Kite coming in. 6'11" out of Brigham Young University. A second-year player who was Boston's first draft choice in '83, but the 21st player taken in the league, as the Celtics did not have a very good choice. But they've got to bring him in and give Parish some rest because of his foul problem. Sixers have their number up there, 76-74. They lead it. Bird on Bobby Jones. Oh, he's amazing, isn't he? There's not much more Bobby Jones could do on that play.
You're talking one of the great defensive players to ever play in this league, and Bird has a way of beating everybody.
Here's Bobby passing inside to Moses. Draws double team coverage and a foul. Celtics are in the penalty. Clint Richardson is coming into the ball game. Detroit 79, Chicago 66 at the end of 3 quarters. Cedric Maxwell is returning for Boston now. That wasn't a very long appearance for Greg Kite, was it? Well, we said early tonight that they were not going to go deep to their benches.
Billy Cunningham goes out to talk to Bobby Jones, and Larry Bird comes over and listens. It's really funny.
I bet that changed the conversation right there. Moses now 23 points. Sixers lead 78-76. Johnson has position. Boy, he knows how to get position, too. His first field goal of the second half, but Dennis with 17 points, only 1 under his whole game average. Tony off target, rebounded Bird. And we've got a 78-all tie. Here it goes to McHale. And the Celtics lead.
Going to call time, but if I'm not mistaken, did they rule that traveling?
Apparently they did. They did not post that basket, and the Celtics do not get that field goal. You're right.
So with a timeout, with 2:56 remaining, the score stays at 78 all.
Having a rocky start tonight, they trail San Antonio 35-20 at the end of a quarter. We still have just under 3 minutes to play in this third quarter. We're all tied, 78 aside. Bobby Jones at long distance. Second field goal for Bobby. Well, he's filling in for Erving right now, so Bobby joins the offense and gets a long one. 80-78, the 76ers, who at one point enjoyed a 16-point ball. That seems like a long time ago, and it was back in the first quarter. Dennis Johnson, 5 on the timer. Ainge gives it back to DJ, gets it up with 2 on the timer and hits. 19 points for Johnson. And again, we're tied, 80 aside. Clement Johnson in for the Sixers. He and Moses Malone playing. Barkley getting a rest right now. We reach the 2-minute mark. No basket. No basket. A 3-second violation. Working on Tony to Dennis Johnson, a pushing foul on Richardson. That's only the second team foul of the quarter on the Sixers, believe it or not, first of the last 2 minutes. So that means they'll be in the penalty on the next one anyway. They changed that rule several years ago, so you can't save them and use them all in the last 2 minutes. Tough pass for Bird. And a rebound, Clem Johnson. Now the Sixers a chance to break the tie. No shot. No shot. We have a whistle before the shot. Maxwell draws a foul. So free throws for Bobby Jones. He's at the line for the first time tonight. Bobby, a reliable 83%. Sixers ahead by 14 at the end of the opening quarter, still up by 3 at halftime and up by 1 right now. Minute and a half to go, third quarter.
Celtics letting that ball roll around there. They're no dummies. They're catching a little breather there.
Nothing wrong with that if you can get away with it. Bird drops it inside to Dennis Johnson. And a quick whistle by Tommy Nunez, and we've got another foul on Richardson as Clint draws 2 in a row, and that one puts the Sixers in the penalty. So although they have only 3 team fouls, they go in the penalty. Johnson's high game of the year, 29 points. He has 20 right now. Easy rebound for Malone. Sixers lead by 1. Moses goes to work and he gets a drop in. 25 points for Malone. The Sixers have played most of the quarter without Erving, who picked up his 4th foul early in the period. Maxwell. And a foul. Richardson looked like he had a clean steal going there.
Well, Richardson did, but the foul's going to be called on Moses Malone. Let's watch it. They say contact by Malone before Clint could come by and make the steal. Or the block.
Scott Wedman enters the game for Boston. He'll replace Larry Bird. And Quinn Buckner is also going to come on now. Free throws for Maxwell. We saw Maxey miss earlier tonight. He's one of the best free throw shooters around. He once set a NIT free throw shooting record. Makes it a 1-point game again with 1 minute left in the quarter.
Here we go.
Look out, Moses and McHale shoving hard inside.
Now Jess Kersey may be calling a double technical here. Malone does not like being leaned on. He finally shoves McHale away.
Player and simply possession to the Sixers out of bounds.
Had that been ruled more flagrant, we would have had the technicals there, I'm sure. Here goes Malone and McHale again. Moses is not backing off.
Moses drives on in and travels.
Well, Tommy Nunez and Jess Kersey now have got to take charge or we're going to have some problems.
Right now, you've got to say that Moses is playing in a little frustration after that series. 33 seconds left in the third quarter. Moses out on Maxwell. Haynes looks to go in, comes out to McHale. And McHale hits a tough shot. That puts the Celtics back up. 85-84 Boston. 15 seconds left in the quarter. Now the clock down to 5. court, over top the glass. At the end of 3 quarters, the 76ers lead it 86-85.
The fourth quarter is coming right up, but first it's time for the NBA Archives. Sweet shooting Sam Jones averaged almost 18 points in 12 seasons with the Boston Celtics. In those 12 seasons, the Celtics won 10 NBA championships. The third leading scorer in Celtics history from North Carolina Central College. Sam was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1983.
While we were away, you see head official Jess Kersey and the respective captains of these two teams, Julius Erving and Larry Bird, ironing out a little bit of, I guess, how this game is going to be called. And be careful. We don't want to get another incident going. We're getting a little heated out here. At the end of the third quarter, the game got significantly more physical. Moses Malone, Kevin McHale still jawing away out there on the floor. The Sixers will inbound to start the fourth quarter.
And the Sixers lead this ball game by a scant 1 point, 86-85, after the Celtics won that quarter by a basket. Tony over the top, no good, and the Celtics take over. The Celtics now playing with Quinn Buckner on their back line along with Danny Ainge. Up front right now they are using Maxwell and McHale and Scott Wedman. So McHale is their center. He gets the ball. Shoots over top Moses. Can't get it. Bobby Jones rebound. Sixers playing both Moses Malone and Clem Johnson at the big spots right now along with Bobby Jones. Richardson and Tony at guard, but Cheeks waiting to come in. Moses. 27 big ones for Moses. He leads all scorers, and the Sixers have a lead again. Down to McHale. He couldn't handle it. Pass was too long. Now Larry Bird coming back in. So is Cheeks.
When Andrew Toney is able to beat his man Quinn Buckner, that forces McHale to come out and help, and Moses Malone the open man. Andrew did a great job of getting it to the open man. Buckner went for the steal, didn't get it, and that threw the whole defense out of whack.
Here's Moses in the post. He draws 3 green shirts around him, and Bobby Jones is open and hits. Oh, it's so important if that open man can sink his field goals when they're collapsing on somebody else. And the Sixers very quickly have a 5-point lead, 90-85. Bird, he whistles it in. 24 for Larry Bird after a sluggish start. This one's going to go right to the wire in all probability, and Malone can't handle the pass. Now Dennis Johnson returns for Boston. Johnson played every minute of the first half, but he's coming back in here. Dallas 35, Kansas City 30 at the end of one. Tough angle shot for range, and it's no good. Rebounded by Malone, the leading rebounder in the league at 13.4 a game. That's exactly where Moses finished last year. Cheeks rebounded by Dennis Johnson. Julius Erving at midcourt waiting to come back. And here's a 3-point try. No good. The league's top 3-point shooter has missed 2 of them tonight. To Malone with position. And we've got a foul.
The Sixers trying to get Moses Malone just to take charge of this game. Look at McHale and Malone down there. Robert Parish already with 4 fouls, and McHale is starting to pile them up. Let's see now, for Kevin McHale in this game, he has 3 personal fouls.
Billy Cunningham wants his 22nd timeout right now. That's a really unusual spot to call it with your own team at the line. You don't see that very often. Sixers lead at 90-87.
Also the Sixers were in Boston territory there for a while. They called this baby across the midline. Now Billy Cunningham backing it up, talking to Clint Richardson and Mo Cheeks. And I'm sure this has to do with defensive strategy. Robert Parish getting set to come back, I believe.
And so is Julius Erving, who apparently is coming in for Malone, with Clem Johnson to swing over and play at center. And Julius remains at midcourt. Moses, 27 points. Sixers had the early 16-point bulge, have not obviously been able to sustain that, but they also haven't given up the lead by much very often. 91-87 now. Sixers into the ball game for the first time tonight is M.L. Carr wearing number 30. And we've got a blocking foul on Cheeks. First of the game on Mo. Now Julius will come back in. And Moses goes out. 9.5 minutes left in a war from the Spectrum.
This is a big Celtic team there out against one of the smaller fives that Philadelphia will put out on the floor.
Larry Bird, 26 for Birdman.
Doesn't matter what you put out on the floor, though, when he's firing from there.
91-89. It's a jump shot here by Richardson, no good. Rebounded by Bird. He and Erving were matched up underneath.
Rebounding will be a problem for the 76ers for a while. Big edge now for Boston.
Well, that's right. The Sixers don't have Malone or Barkley in the game at this moment. Johnson short with it. Johnson again. No, but a foul. In that third quarter, the Celtics shot 62%, the Sixers 50%. Andrew Toney back in for the Sixers now. He'll replace Clint Richardson. Clint threw his fourth personal foul. He and Doc the only Sixers with 4 tonight. That's 21 points for DJ. Dennis, on his third team in the NBA, has also been with Seattle and Phoenix. Look at the way he cradles that ball. The Celtics have tied it 91 all. 9 minutes left. And Charles Barkley takes off the warm-up shirt. He'll be back shortly. Dennis Johnson guarding Doc as he did earlier tonight. Bobby Jones can't get the spot. McHale for the rebound. Now the Celtics a chance to take a 2-point lead. They haven't been ahead by 2 since the first quarter. M.L. Carr reluctantly puts it up. No good. Julius. And Clem Johnson knocked away, but it goes to Bobby Jones. No! Clem Johnson can't get it. And Parish finally does. Some tough shots underneath, but no payoff. Bird. And Boston leads 93-91. Billy Cunningham wants a timeout. 7:47 left in the game, and the Celtics are up by 2.
Numbers have been retired by 19 NBA teams as a tribute to players' greatness. The Boston Celtics are by far the leader in this category, having honored 16 men, including the incomparable Bob Cousy. Here are the Celtics who have been honored. The New York Knicks are one of 4 teams to retire 4 numbers. The rest of the players who have had their numbers retired.
examples, Andy, where the Celtics got the extra crack at the rebound, the loose ball, and turned it into points. Enough points now so that they enjoy a 2-point lead. 93-91. We've got 7:47 to go. Leave Larry Bird alone. That's what happens.
Come on to get 28 points. The Sixers, who had a good shooting percentage at the end of the first quarter, have hit only 39% since the opening quarter. Now they are down here by 2 points. Julius back to work. A floater will not go, and a loose ball foul, and it's going to go against Malone. That's number 4 on Moses, and 3 team fouls on the Sixers, only 1 on Boston, with 7:33 to play in the quarter. In this period, the Sixers shooting 2 out of 10. Tangled up that time, and the pass went out of bounds untouched. 18 turnovers for Boston, but still they lead this game by 2 points. Cheeks puts it in to tie it up. 16 points for Maurice, his first basket of the second half.
We've got strength against strength now. The best players on each team on the floor.
Dennis Johnson in and out, and rebound Malone. Johnson got knocked down. The Sixers with a chance to reclaim their lead. They've had it most of the way tonight. Moses in with the big guys. Good, and he's fouled.
A little new wrinkle here as Moses goes baseline right into traffic. Usually he'll go the other way. This time he took the gamble inside and attracted enough attention to not only make the hoop, but pick up the foul.
That's number 3 on Larry Bird, and Moses, who has 30 points, goes to the line and gets number 31. And the Sixers are up by 3, 96-93. Danny Ainge gets a pick from Bird. Julius over to help out, nearly gets the ball away. Ainge in trouble. And Bird goes right in with a scoop shot, and he matches the 30-point mark. 96-95. We're halfway through the final quarter. What a game at the Spectrum tonight. Doc has to give it up. No shooting room. And a 3-second violation on the Sixers. It's on Barkley.
At that driving hoop by Bird. He is having another great game. He had 42 the first time out when these teams met last month in Boston. He's getting close to that now. He's in the 30s. 6 minutes, 6 seconds left to go. Sixers leading it by 1. Big shot going to town here. That's a big league performance by Michael Big Shot.
Sellout here tonight. Interesting note on the centers, although they both have 10 rebounds, Malone and Parish. Malone, of course, is outscoring him 31-8. Here's Parish dropping one into McHale. Ball knocked away. Tony tries to save it in and can't quite do it. Bird lets one fly. Not this one. Parish tried to tip it in. It's picked up by Cheeks. Up in a hurry to Doc. He'll go with the jumper. Good. Sixers lead 98-95 on a Julius Erving jumper. Well, this crowd is really going to be a factor now. Coming down the stretch, 5.5 to go. Parish, no shooting room at all, but he made room. Parish hits the 10 mark. Sixer lead trimmed back to 1. It's going to be work this final 5 minutes. Batted back to Moses. Moses and Parish elbowing for position. Tony tries to make the pass inside. It's stolen by Boston. Here comes Ain. And that hurt. Celtics take a 1-point lead, 99-98 on the steal of the Sixers trying to force the ball inside. 4.5 to go.
Sixers standing around now.
Yeah. Can't get the ball inside right now. Here's a pushing foul on Dennis Johnson. Third team foul on Boston. That category has evened up now, each team with 3. Tony leaves. Richardson comes on. Doc breaks on Bird, and Larry knocks the ball out of bounds. Is open. Can't get it. Dennis Johnson for a rebound. Celtics by 1. 4:10 to go. Up to Parish. He'll wait for some help. He almost threw that ball back over midcourt. Bird underneath. A brilliant pass by Dennis Johnson. And Billy Cunningham calls time.
Well, another marvelous effort by Larry Bird as Julius Erving gets caught in the pick. Bird just ran Julius Erving right into Parish and Malone. Watch it again. He fakes one way, goes backdoor the other way. Julius gets tangled among the big people, and wide open is Larry Bird, a master at moving with or without the ball. It's 101-98. The Celtics leading with 3:55 to go.
You know, the Cleveland Cavaliers have only 2 wins this year, and they're both over Atlanta, right? So at the end of 1 quarter tonight, it's Atlanta 36 and Cleveland 14. Can you believe that? In a big shot. Sixers pulled to within 1. 101 to 100, 3.5 to go. Parish looks for Bird. Larry puts it up. It is overshot. Bird is shooting 16 for 27 tonight.
Now the guy who loves the basketball in these situations has it.
Here goes Moses, and the ball knocked away, picked up by Malone. No follow-up. Barkley, Sixers lead. 102-101, and an offensive rebound and basket by Barkley.
The crowd now becoming a factor again as Billy Cunningham wants intense defense. Bobby Jones now the man on Bird.
Parish's jumper is no good. Followed up by McHale. No. Parish again. No again. And we're going to have a Philadelphia foul. Bobby Jones. Number 1 of the night on Bobby. And the 4th team foul on the 76ers. Charles Barkley has 11 rebounds. McHale makes a move. That puts Boston back up. 103-102 as McHale hits. 2:45 left. Would you expect it to be any other way? The Sixers and the Celtics going back and forth right at one another in the final moments of this game. Moses. A slammer by Malone.
Was Malone fouled? He thinks so. Here's the great pass by Tony. Dennis Johnson gets away with one there.
2:20 remaining. Sixers up by 1. Larry Bird fouled by Bobby Jones. And Bobby put up a big protest. He went,
yeah, for Bobby, that's a major protest.
Watch Bobby. Bobby Jones, who has never had a technical foul called on him. Bird has not been at the free throw line tonight, believe it or not. And he is a 90%er. He is 91 out of 101 right now, among the league leaders in free throws.
The league leader a year ago.
Put the Celtics on top, 105-104, 2:14 left. Here's Tony fighting off Danny Ainge. Andrew, he gets it away. What a tough shot by Tony. It took every one of those head fakes to make the room.
You got to love the people that want the ball in this kind of game, and Tony and Larry Bird are two of a kind.
Ainge is wide open, and he guns the Celtics back up. 107-106 in a shootout. 1:45 to play. Looks like whoever makes the last shot wins it. Sixers. Parish on a half hook, no good, and Moses for the rebound. Here's the first break in the trading of baskets. Let's see if the Sixers can get a little daylight here. Hold on, play was stopped, whistle.
See KC wanting the timeout. You can't even hear the whistle. That's how loud it is in here. But a reach-in foul as Tony was driving down the foul lane.
Dennis Johnson on that personal foul. 1:06 to play.
Can't get the timeout on a call like that.
The timer down to 18. For the board, Sixers keep it out of bounds off McHale. The timer will reset. The Sixers get a fresh 24 with 52 seconds left in the game. Oh, Dennis Johnson is quick, isn't he? He came from nowhere to knock that ball out.
In a nice zone defense here.
And getting away with it, Cheeks is open. Moses tried for the tip-in, couldn't get it. We've got a loose ball foul on the 76ers, Malone. Moses, the first player to draw number 5.
Celtics actually had a matchup zone here where they were ready to put 2 men on Andrew Tony at any time, and what happened, Mo Cheeks was left unguarded the other way. Here's the foul at the other end as Moses tries to go over Robert Parish. It will be a shooting foul. Sixers in the penalty.
So Robert Parish will have some mighty big free throws here. He's 2 for 2 on the line tonight. He misses. So the best he can do is tie it. 35 seconds left. He can tie the game. But the ball comes back to Parish. So the Celtics retain possession with a chance to tie yet. Parish again. No! Rebounded by Barkley. 24 seconds to go.
Celtics have to take the foul.
Get the job done with the 11 seconds remaining. Bird picks up the foul. Number 4 on Bird. That was a Barkley, big free throws here for Barkley. Charles tonight on the line is 3 out of 5. Seconds showing on the clock. Sixers up by a point. Big.
Keep in mind that Boston has the best three-point shooter in the NBA in Larry Bird.
And that's what they're going to need. Boston calls time, and they are down by 3. 110 to 107.
Bird last year made 41% of his three-point shots. That's a phenomenal percentage. He is doing even better this year. His three-point average
55
is 55%. He has tried 2 shots tonight, missed them both. But if you ever needed 3 points, you couldn't ask for a better guy to call on, and 76ers realize that. They will have to devise a way to make it as difficult as possible for Bird. The Celtics were involved last night in a game with the New Jersey Nets that saw a 4-point play occur. Obviously, a guy trying a three-pointer, Otis Birdsong, was fouled and came up with a 4-point goal. 11 seconds left. Boston will have the ball. And they will be trying desperately to get this game into overtime. There is no particular spot that I'm aware of that Bird would prefer. He can make that shot from anywhere around that half moon. Comes down to this. You know that they will try to use him as their first option. Scotty Wedman also will come into the game. He is another excellent long-distance man, and as is Dennis Johnson. So they've got some options, but Bird, you know, is number 1.
And Danny Ainge would be in that category, too. He is also fired up 4 this year. Here we go. Let's see how it comes. And they go to Ainge. He puts the try away. It is off target. The rebound back to Ainge. Bird with a follow try. Overshot it. And still 2 seconds showing. Jump ball. 1 second to go. 11 seconds when that sequence started. Seemed like the clock would never run down.
And Bird you couldn't ask for a better shot. He was uncontested on the freak rebound and the clever pass by Ainge.
A jump at the Boston circle. Moses Malone for the Sixers. Who's going to jump for Boston? Some fans are getting a little rowdy down here, and some of the security at the Spectrum are having to restrain some fans in the far corner. It's McHale and Malone to jump here. They can't seem to decide which way they're going to do it. And Boston will take a time. With 1 second left to go, Sixers up by 3. The Celtics are calling another timeout. And I think that was one of the Santa Clauses that got in trouble, Barnes.
Yeah, the spirit of Christmas is vanishing here, along with the Celtic hopes. The Celtics now, I'm sure, will try and devise a way to tap the ball to Larry Bird and to construct a three-point effort that way. Here's Danny Ainge's three-point attempt. He is heavily guarded. The ball bouncing around. Ainge has a great presence to get the ball back to Bird. You can't ask for a better shot than that. He was wide open, did not make contact, or barely made contact with the rim. Now a jump ball called. The thing about having 1 second left, you don't know whether it's 1.5 seconds, 1 3/4 seconds, or maybe the horn's going to go off instantly. things happen. I'll never forget a shot by Jerry West from nearly 3/4 of the court to give the Lakers a playoff game win over the New York Knicks. So miracles occasionally happen in this league.
So it'll be Moses and McHale. They are both 6'10". McHale coming out with a question, but Jess Kersey says, no, let's get on with it here. And McHale does not get it. It goes to Tony, and this ball game is over, and the 76ers have beaten the Celtics in an exciting one to even this series at 1 game apiece. The 76ers winning it tonight 110-107.
The heroes, they were many. Larry Bird, he had 34 points. 22 points for Dennis Johnson. 16 for Maxwell. 12 points for Ainge to lead the Celtics. For the 76ers tonight, another sparkler by Malone. He finishes with 34.